So the F-22 Raptor is primarily based at several key US Air Force bases, including Joint Bases, Langley, Eustis, Virginia, also in Alaska and New Mexico. The F-22 is made for pure power and advanced fighting maneuver capabilities, including the thrust vectoring, which we'll probably see being demonstrated during this demonstration here today. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, for the first display to kick off Pensacola Air Show. Here we are. It's on the runway now.
Raptor 1 rolling out for a high show.
And there we go. The burners are enabled. The sounds are roaring. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your most feared aircraft in the whole entire world. It is the one, the only, the mighty F-22 Raptor! Impressive vertical climb rates there, going from 0 to 200 in just under 2 seconds. Pulling just above 2,000 feet there as he comes back down from a high pitch pull, then rolling out at about 900 feet, then to come level out. Burners are re-enabled and then disabled to show pure power, showing that we can't burn too much fuel during this display, but we definitely can show you enough of burner action from the aircraft itself. A very quick roll demonstrated there by the pilot. During half of these turns, the pilot will be under about 3.5 G. And when he pulls around for some of the very much tighter turns, he'll be pulling around about 7.5 to 9 Gs. A pilot is standardly trained in every Air Force to recommend to train for 10 Gs, because that is the maximum that they ask for the pilots to be able to withstand. And some pilots can actually withstand more, but 10 G is pretty much the max. When we say 10 G, that means you are going to be pulling in that cockpit 10 times your body weight. It'll feel like 10 elephants are sitting upon your chest as you pull around in those tight turns and those tight pull-ups. When we're doing a negative G, our vision goes red. That's because all the blood is coming straight from our feet, rushing to our head. This gives us tunnel vision and makes our vision go all red and funny when we're pulling negative G. And as we're pulling positive G in the aircraft, our vision goes all tunnel vision, so everything goes black around our eyes, and then we go into something called G-lock, where we are unresponsive to any type of sound or any noise. As you know, demonstrated in Top Gun, that they had to use the missile tone to be able to wake the pilot back up from that G-lock, and he just about made it out of that incident there. There we go, the aircraft is shifting about those engines, very powerful, making sure that the aircraft is being pushed through the sky at maximum performance and maximum power as it flies out just in front of us there. So the F-22 Raptor is a premier 5th generation stealth fighter combining super maneuverability, stealth and integrated avionics for its air dominance, making it hard for radar to detect, and capable of supersonic flight without afterburner, which means that those engines are powerful enough to just push it through the sky up to Mach 1. Designed to evade radar, giving it expeditional survivability in contested airspace. It's not rare that the F-22s go up on a mission for stealth. They are the most expensive fighter that the US Air Force own to date, due to its advanced capabilities, advanced avionics, and stealth capabilities. The F-22 can fly at supersonic Mach 2 without using fuel-guzzling afterburners. So the afterburners, for those who primarily don't know, but you know some about aircraft, the afterburners are what we can see coming out the back there, that bright orange glow. The aircraft holds a lovely knife-edge pass there. The F-22 is has sensor fusion, integrates data from multiple sensors into a single coherent picture for the pilot, and early example of digital engineering, making it one of the most advanced fighters in the US Air Force. First flew in 1997 and entered service in 2005. The US Air Force replaced the F-15 Eagle in some roles. It was replacing the F-15 in some roles. And to talk about the payload on the F-22, carries missiles internally to maintain stealth, including AIM-120 AMRAAMS and AIM-9 Sidewinders, plus GBU-32 JDAMS for ground attacks. So there is also an extended feature on the F-22. Under the wings, there could be pylons added, and you can have a storage box put underneath where countless of missiles come out of the aircraft, out of this box at once, giving it more than just its inside storage components. Production ended, and the US has a legal ban on exporting the F-22 due to its sensitive technology. This is for if other countries try to get hold of the F-22. Because the F-22 was such an expensive project for the US Air Force, the F-22 was never allowed to be passed on to any other Air Force within the world. So it stays unique to the US Air Force fully. So there we are, 2,600 feet falling now. It's called a feather fall. The aircraft is throttling back up to the full burners to then come out of the feather fall. That is forcing the aircraft into a stall and only using the rudder to swivel it around. So despite the name Raptor, its name is not named after the dinosaur, but rather its official designation, which was Raptor. The F-22 cost was extremely high, with development and program cost researching around $380 million per jet by the late 2000s, according to the Defense Express and Wikipedia. So now you see why the aircraft isn't very rarely seen. We're very lucky to see such an aircraft displaying at an air show and to be seen in public. So this is probably going to be one of the earlier prototypes, or maybe currently one of the flying ones, but one of the older versions, so there ain't much stress put into the aircraft's fuselage. As after a couple of displays, the aircraft's fuselage will need replacing. It will have to go in for servicing, and that's usually about after 10,000 hours worth of flying. And obviously with air shows, you can expect that aircraft a slow pass. So pilot is messing with the throttle to keep it a steady throttle to keep the aircraft afloat. Those ailerons and elevators are definitely working as hard as they can to keep the aircraft in that perfect AOA. AOA, I mean angle of attack. This is the angle that the aircraft points. We don't call it 8 degrees. There we go, the burners reignite to pull away from the runway as quick as possible. With such an expensive aircraft, the pilots are put under extreme pressures not to crash such a machine, because if you crash it in the wrong airspace, the only problem is it's given away to the wrong hands. And when it's given into the wrong hands, technology will be built around of what they can find and then used against the US military, against them with other advanced fighters. This is why the F-22 was kept secret for such a long time by Lockheed Martin and the US Air Force itself, and wasn't given any plans to any other countries within and around the United States Air Force. So it never got passed on to NATO. NATO knew about the jet, but never ever found out any blueprints of the aircraft itself. In my opinion, the F-22 has a very distinctive look. Those twin squint engines on the rear, that odd triangular design to the wings, the slight, the angled triangle tail fins as well, and plus that nose and the air intakes definitely give the aircraft this what it is away. So here we go. I believe we got a couple more passes left now, and then the display should come to an end. And as the display comes to an end, we move on